What's up, everyone? Really excited about this awesome learning experience that I'm putting together 5 days a week. We have some awesome speakers, 10 a.m. We are streaming live on StreamYard, through Twitter, Facebook, and my YouTube channel. Unlocking Unlimited Potential Stories, Summer Thrive Edition. Jesse Lubinsky, Georgina Dean, Darrin Peppard, Charles Williams, and Tisha Richmond. An awesome group of people. We're going to talk about what you're doing for summer learning and opportunities that are out there for us all to be able to continue to grow and thrive this summer. Because as educators, as we hit this summer place, we have two choices. We either stop and dive or grow and thrive. Join us this week. Looking forward to it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Unlocking Unlimited Potential Stories Summer Thrive show. So excited to be here. Third day in a row. Day one, we had Jesse Lubinsky. He talked about some awesome experiences, including the Changemaker Conference, which is happening real soon. Next week, it's starting. Then we had Georgina Dean, who came on and followed up with some incredibly awesome learning opportunities, Codebreaker Summer Camp, Adobe programs, and so many other cool opportunities, including her Breaker Space, which also happens as well. And today, we have my main man right here, Darrin Peppard. What's up, my brother?
Not much, Brandon. How you doing this morning, man? It's great to see you.
Oh, it's always good to see you. You know, we talk a lot, you and I, and when I get a chance to see your face, it's always a special opportunity. So, talking about you a little bit, my man. Here you are. You are retired, but you are not retired. You are retired superintendent, but you are far too young to be retired. Those are the words that Darrin said I had to use, and I believe that. You're the author of Road to Awesome from Codebreaker, which is also an amazing book that leaders need to get a hold of this summer. Anyone who considers themselves a school leader, I have read it myself. It will make you cry. It will make you laugh. And it will make you completely be humbled with joy for learning. I truly appreciate the work here that he's doing. And also, most importantly, you are the publisher, Road to Awesome, your newest adventure. We're going to dive into that a little bit today. But we were here to talk about summer learning. And so, man, how's your summer going so far?
You know, it's amazing. I really thought, you know, in this transition, or this pivot, as I'm calling it, I'll be honest with you, Ryan Aspinall's been really great about this. Every time I talk about stepping from public education into this private side with the consulting and the speaking and the publishing, Brian keeps reminding me that Darrin is just a pivot. It's not, you're not retiring, you're not reinventing, you're pivoting, and which I think is great. But you know, I thought as I stepped into, you know, this transition during the summer that I would feel like summer didn't move, you know, as fast as it normally has. You know, for the last 26 years being in public education, you know, whether it's, you know, the end of your first year teaching or you know, somewhere in the middle of that run, you go into summer and it's like, yeah, summer's here, and you breathe, and then all of a sudden it's time to get rolling and get ready to get back. And honestly, this summer hasn't felt any different. I just feel like, even though it's a whole different world that I'm stepping into, and a whole different set of work that I have, still my clients are doing that. They're getting ready to go back to school. So a lot of my work is just tied into that. So the summer is flying. That's a really long-winded way of saying the summer is flying.
The summer is flying, but most importantly, you are in a far different place than you were 1 year ago, 1 year and a half ago, even if you count the whole pandemic, because it seems like that was 100 years ago. But anyways, talk a little bit about the opening and the idea to start the publishing company and what that's led to, because I know that leads to a lot of summer learning for you, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, you know, the publishing portion of Road to Awesome really was the third branch. You know, the first two branches were the leadership consulting and coaching and the motivational speaking. And it was December last year, December 2020, and I'm up one morning, drinking coffee, getting ready to, get moving on my day and getting going to the office. And I got a text from Brian Aspinall at Codebreaker. And we just kind of bounced back and forth a little bit. We were actually talking about my book for some reasons. This happens in weird ways. It's happened with your book too. You'll wake up one morning and your book will be number one in a category, and you haven't done anything to promote it or anything. Just for some reason, it's number one in that category. And Brian and I were going back and forth, and he said, Codebreaker is really just continuing to expand and continuing to get bigger and bigger. We don't feel like we can take on all the books that come our way, but we want to help lift educators' voices. And I know that's your passion. Would you consider doing that work as well? Kind of, at least at first, kind of under the wing of Codebreaker. And I wasn't too sure at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought this is an opportunity to just continue to lift educators' voices and continue to help educators tell their story. And it didn't take very long. Brian and I started talking it through, and by the end of December, we made that announcement together that RTA would start publishing books. At this point, we've got 3 books that are out, and all 3 have made it to number 1 in a category. So really, really proud of those. The Road to Awesome, A Journey for Kids, that I'd say I co-authored that, but really it was so much a work of passion of Jillian Du Bois, and it was just me with a little bit of support. So that one was our first one out. Then Rob Breyer's book. Big shout out to Rob today. By the way, he and Bobby French presenting at the National Elementary School Principals Conference today. So guys, get out there and do a great job. But Rob's book, Taking the Leap, which is a fantastic book for those who are looking to take that leap from in the classroom into a formal school leadership role. And then Debbie Tannenbaum's book, Transform, which has been pretty fantastic as well, are out. And we're getting ready to drop another book, a fantastic educator who's got an incredible story, a guy named John Van Dusen, who's in Michigan. His book will be out probably sometime in the next 10 days. And then honestly, Brandon, we've got so many of them stacked up behind there that are already finished manuscripts. It's exciting, but yeah, that's like the third branch of Road to Awesome, and it's kind of an interesting juggling act, keeping all 3, moving and staying on keel.
Listen, it's a tree that keeps growing branches, which is a beautiful thing, and that's kind of pretty awesome. We're going to talk about one of those branches today, as well as
yes, we
in
are.
addition to that. And also, going back to what you said, how Brian called you up and offered you this opportunity and gave you the idea to kind of keep going. Our good friend, Bradley Skinner, would say that you answered the call. You answered the call, man. And that's what I think is pretty amazing. And I appreciate that. And we appreciate you. And if you talk about summer learning, look at that whole list of books. I mean, those books have all come out in the past couple of weeks. And, you have more books coming. Another great place in addition to Codebreaker to hear from some amazing educators with some amazing stories. And a lot of these authors are running all different kinds of book studies. And these authors are all people that are approachable. And if you're interested, reach out to them. They are humble, kind, amazing people that will definitely also answer your call. But yeah, shout out to Bradley Skinner on that one. Had to give him a little love. But yeah, and the other part of that too is, you talk a little bit about summer learning, and I know you're doing some summer learning. We were just talking about an awesome retreat that you returned from. And I think it's important for educators to know that there is your virtual events, there is your hybrid events, there is your individual coaching opportunities. There's a million different ways, but I think it's also cool to talk a little bit about this style of retreat, because the idea of a retreat for educators in a beautiful location is just such an awesome idea. Shout out to Steve Wolf for that as well. But talk a little bit about his retreat that you just went on and you're also involved with in speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. So my good friend Steve Wolf out here in Colorado, he decided he wanted to create in partnership with his wife, Kelly, just a really relaxed retreat for educators. When you think about just everything that we, excuse me, if you think about everything that we've endured and made our way through in the last 16, 18 months, we're all carrying a lot on our shoulders, and we're carrying a lot on our back. And what Steve and Kelly have created, the Wild Heart Teacher Retreat, you can find it on Facebook, Wild Heart Teacher, is just, I'm telling you, it's a diamond in the rough. And if educators don't know about this, they need to know about it. It's a 3-day retreat, and it's not a conference. Definitely you get a chance to hear some great speakers, but what you really get to do is start to unload some of that baggage and work through maybe some of the things you don't realize you were carrying around over the past, this past period of time. I went to the third of the 6 retreats, spent the 3 days there. We had folks from Michigan, we had folks from Minnesota, from Arizona, from California, Kansas, Colorado, and Wyoming. And it was just fantastic. It was this great opportunity to just start to build relationship with other educators around the country, to come together. And I'll be honest with you, Brandon, my biggest takeaway from this thing was I wasn't alone. As we made our way through this, I hate to keep saying that, make our way through it, but that's really what we did. As I was, going through my own journey through the pandemic, I know I took a lot on myself, and I held it in. And boy, to have an opportunity to just kind of unload some of that with other folks, and have them unload with me, I know we all left a lot more recharged, definitely a lot more unified, and really excited about, okay, let's move into this next phase of education. Again, I said it's not just a conference; it's this opportunity to get out, spend some time in nature. The retreat is actually held at a camp just outside of Divide, Colorado, which essentially is at the base of Pikes Peak. And, one day we spent 3 hours hiking a hike called the Crags, which is up Pikes Peak. There were some folks that went fly fishing. There were some folks that went down into Colorado Springs and Manitou Springs and went to the Garden of the Gods. Just some time to, as Steve calls it, just do you. Just take that time, be in nature. There's virtually no cell service up there. So, we had to drive down into Woodland Park if we needed to check our voicemails or anything like that. So it's just a great opportunity to disconnect, to recharge the batteries. And again, some incredible speakers that were a part of it. And, you mentioned that now I'm connected with it. Actually, yesterday was back down in Divide to speak at the 4th of the 6 events. And there are 2 more coming up. There's one at the end of this month. That is the 26th, 27th, and 28th of July. And then the last one is the first full week of August. And yes, you can see right here. One of these days I'm going to figure out StreamYard. I still do that, Rob.
We got the link below for sure. You can see it at facebook.com, Wild Heart Teacher. You're going to make your way to some awesomeness.
That I think educators need to know about. Everything I just said with this, the cost to attend this is your travel plus $50. That's it. And honestly, night 2 is steak. You're going to pay over $50 for the steak dinner you would get that night. So I'm telling you, it's absolutely worth it. I'm going to go and speak at the last 2. Really looking forward to that. I know Tom Cody, who's a speaker from Minnesota, is going to be there for the next one. It's fantastic. So by all means, check it out. Great work by Steve and Kelly Wolf.
Yeah, and I've been posting in the chat as well, been putting some shout outs to Steve as well. So thank you so much for creating something like this and for taking this idea to the next level. Hopefully this is something that we can all start to really see as an opportunity that's a much better kind of learning experience to have in the summer, right? It's kind of pretty ideal to be able to kind of vacation somewhere and be able to have a healthy balance of everything, not just the books, but also the mind, the body, the soul, and being able to just recharge. I like the idea that you just lose cell service. I think that's I think
Yeah.
that right there, I know whenever I've been in a place where that happens, and I know a couple places that I go in my own personal life for like a weekend, you sleep better. You eventually just stop, reaching for your phone, and you just kind of, it's one of those things, it's good for my kids. It's good for everybody. But yeah, disconnect is another way just to really continue some summer learning, is just make sure to take the time to disconnect.
It's something that we just don't do,
Yeah.
and we've become so connected that, sometimes you just have to do that. And, for all of us, I know it was a great thing to put the phone down and actually have that interaction. I mean, we had, 20 something people that had never met each other. There was a few of us who knew each other, but man, by the end of the first night, we had great relationships because we weren't on our phones. We were actually having, good face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, we talk about that a little bit and we change gears. And I know that you and I have been involved in some opportunities, shout out to our UUP on the RTA people who have just crushed it over the past 4 months and just have incredible stories that are continuing to get better and better. And, talking a little bit about the coaching experience and talking a little bit about your journey into coaching a little bit. So I think it's important that everybody kind of hears your coaching story a little bit, because that walks us right into the reason why behind all the coaching that's happening out there. And I see some people that are watching from our UUP on the RTA. Shout out to Kip.
Yeah, right on. And I see Melissa on here as well. So yeah, the thing with coaching goes back to when I was a principal. My first year as a high school principal, I moved 40 feet down the hallway from my assistant principal office, and buddy, it might as well have been 400 miles. And it was unbelievable how unprepared I was for that role. And, they say until you do the role, you're not prepared for it. And I get that, but it's great to have somebody to support you. And I was fortunate in my second year, we had a new superintendent. He had never been a principal, knew he couldn't coach us, but he knew how to go and get those folks. And he connected me with a fantastic leadership coach. And it completely changed who I was as a leader. In fact, it shifted my focus so much. And you know this well, Brandon, my passion is leadership. And this is where it really started. Heck, I completely changed directions most of the way through my doctorate program to move away from doing a dissertation on technology integration to doing a dissertation on principal preparation. And it was all about the coaching. And so, once I made the transition and started to get comfortable with that, I realized that for me, one of the most important roles I held as the principal was to coach my assistant principals just as much as I was coaching teachers. And boy, I was hooked at that point in time. I love watching young emerging leaders, just emerging leaders, don't necessarily have to be young, but emerging leaders as they, take those new steps into their roles and starting to understand their role and to really come into their own. And so that's what launched Road to Awesome. Not necessarily the book, but the LLC was that desire to want to coach leaders. And of course, then you and I have had some great conversations and taken some big steps to starting to coach people, whether it's in a leadership role, it's coaching people around, completing that doctorate degree or launching their own, side hustle business or whatever the case may be. We all have hopes. We all have dreams. We all have these aspirations for wanting to make impact. And you and I just happen to be in a great position to be able to support people doing this. And when we discussed, I don't even remember how the idea came about, but when you and I discussed putting together this coaching process, this UUP on the RTA, as we ultimately called it, it was exciting to have somebody with this like mind to mine, meaning you, that, hey, we can help people to unlock what's inside of them and help them get to that next level. And, listening to the stories of our group that we led on this trial run, if you will, this alpha test of UUP on the RTA, Man, some incredible success stories. Kip Schubert, who's watching right now, is a great example. Melissa Wright, another great example, and so forth. That, you know, we all can benefit from coaching. Brandon, you're a soccer coach. I was a basketball coach. I was a tennis coach. I'll tell you what, you don't necessarily have to, have done everything that people want to do. It's about providing that third point perspective and being able to say, hey, have you considered this? Or, just patting them on the back and saying, what, you're doing a hell of a great job, or helping them identify who is going to be my accountability partner. Doesn't necessarily have to be my coach. Who's that other person who's going to push me and support me and celebrate me? And I've wandered way off the path of what the question was, because when we talk about coaching,
my brother.
Oh man, when we talk about coaching,
it was the
gets
coaching
me so
story.
fired up.
That's it. That's the coaching story. That's
Yeah.
exactly the coaching story. I mean, listen, you couldn't have done it any better. I think it's important to understand that, coaching is another way to continue to develop yourself. I personally think that everybody should have their own personal development coach. Doesn't matter how successful or how unsuccessful or how many issues you're having. Everybody should have them regardless, because being able to have somebody that keep you accountable is one thing, but also being able to have somebody that's going to push you and that's going to listen to you and that's going to support you and be there to be able to say, hey, all right, you got a lot of ideas right now. This is what's realistic in 3 months, and this is what's realistic in 6 months. And this is what we can put together a plan. And let's prioritize what needs to be done each day so that you can get to that plan. And that's what I've loved about kind of working with you as well, is being able to create this curriculum alive and well and from the heart and through a program. And we piloted with 20 educators and from across North America. And, some of them are here in the chat as well. I think it's important to take a moment. And why don't we just... I'm kind of throwing you a curveball, but I got a little video. Should I show the video?
Oh, absolutely. I know this video.
Should show the
love
video.
This video. So
shout out to Jillian. Shout out to Kip. They're on this video. You got a little
Ariel. Ariel
little
is on
cameo.
this video.
Yeah, Ariel's on the video as well.
Yep.
So you know what? I'm gonna do it. I just kind of pulled it up on my computer. Let's do a little screen share. The idea is that the reason for doing it too, I think it also gives us a chance to really show how far we've come as a group, and how we created this program 4 months ago. And we said, let's pilot this. Let's pilot this with a group of awesome educators, ranging from teachers to administrators to everything else. And just the amount of success that happened each week was incredible. And we're excited. We're excited to take on the next batch of people. We're excited to open the doors and so that people can start to be able to jump in wherever they feel comfortable, whether it's our private Facebook group, whether it is our private, whether it is, our small group coaching, or whether it's our one-on-one coaching. There's options for everybody. So you know what, let's pull this up right now. Darrin and I put our heads together and we created something that we are really, really excited to share.
We know you clearly are a leader, so we want to give you that opportunity to just take it to the next level.
We rise by lifting up others.
To be able to lift the voices of other educators and to be able to support other educators. So
it's more about looking within and how we can use those tools within you to take you to the next level. So most importantly, you're going to connect because you're going to grow with other people, and the other people are going to be an opportunity for you to build your professional learning network. All of this is going to help you launch your career to the next level.
And I feel so proud and so happy that so many of the things that I wanted, I accomplished.
My life has changed significantly.
There are so many things starting to happen, and it's an exciting time.
At the same time, this has also taught me how to prioritize those things and just that 1% better.
Holy cow, look how far we've come in 4 months.
Part of launching is celebrating the growth and the things that we have done to get to this point. But we want to continue to grow this group and continue to scale this group. When we pull together people who are like-minded, we have those opportunities to share collectively, but then also, Brandon and I can then provide support, to the group, to small groups, to individuals as we go forward.
being able to provide this in some free capacity is always considered one of our top priorities. So the Facebook group, we're planning to keep that alive and well, and then we've created other package options. There's a lot of you that have a lot of things that you're interested in, and we have people who want to be authors, that want to start, that want to like legitimize their business, that want to really focus on branding, getting those things to go from the classroom to a speaker to a consultant to all of these different things and great things that you all have in front of you. And we are designing programs created around that.
We're just getting started. Each and every one of us is just getting started, unlocking our unlimited potential on that road to awesome.
Take the steps that you need to take to unlock your unlimited potential on the road to awesome. All right. There it was, man.
There we go.
That felt good. That felt good to actually play that. That was it. That was the first time that that's ever been played. So we appreciate you all there. Everybody who participated in that. And, you know, that experience was such an awesome experience, Darrin.
Yeah. Oh, it really was. And, you know, I think as we now launch into this next phase of UUP on the RTA, where, you know, we do have, you know, the private Facebook group, and then the private small groups, and then the one-on-one coaching opportunities. I got to tell you, this hit me yesterday, and actually I shared a pep talk this morning on this that I stopped on my drive home, honestly, from Divide, in the exact spot where I took the picture for my book cover. And just this one word just kept ringing in my head. And you know, as I've moved into this new role, Brandon, I've struggled with, you know, what is the title? What is it that I do? You know, I mean, it's one thing to say, well, I'm a consultant and I'm a speaker and I'm a publisher. That wasn't it. But, you know, it comes right back to this coaching stuff. And it comes back to, you know, being able to help make a difference for others. And I'll be honest with you, that group, Brandon, I think grew us easily as much as we grew them. And so that word, and I dropped it in the comments on here too, you know, I think this is my new job title. And this is exactly the work that we're going to be doing. And that's to be a catalyst. I mean, it is about igniting and sparking and helping people unleash what they want to do. You know, you need that third point perspective. Just before we came on, I was sitting and watching the Wimbledon quarterfinals. And so Novak Djokovic, the top seed in the tournament, one of the best players in the world, one of the best players to ever play the game. Novak Djokovic has a coach. In fact, he has a team of coaches. And again, it's just about that third point perspective. I mean, none of his coaches can beat him on the court. That's not the point. The point is they're able to help support him, help him think things through a little bit differently, help him develop strategy to get himself to the absolute top of where he can be. And, you know, that is a catalyst, Brandon. That's what this is all about.
Absolutely. And that is the thing that we all need to understand, is that we're not in this alone. And there's many ways to learn and keep growing. And really, there is no excuse. Right? There's no excuse to keep yourself in line and keep yourself moving forward. And a lot of the people that we've been working with are people who, you know, like it said in the video, people who want to go from where they are to something greater, and or to have more joy in the position that they're in, whatever it is. And what I love most about it is that they come together as a family, as a group, and they support each other. They create accountability partners. They really connect with others, which even helps them grow even further, because at the end of the day, all of these people that we've been working with have great messages, have great vision, have great ideas of what they want. And our job is to be able to walk them through relating what they're going to do each and every day to those goals, so that they can have an idea of measuring that success. And really, honestly, we can all say, oh, I can do this by myself, and you can, and you all can. But it's a lot easier when you have someone to bounce ideas off of, just like when it's easier when you have a co-teacher, or when it's easier when you have, you know, an assistant or someone who's a team in the administration department with you, because at the end of the day, doing things on your own it's fun, but it's even more joy in the journey when you have a team rooting for you in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think when you go through that type of an experience, there's this shared accountability, the right kind of accountability. You know, where I see in the comments, Kip and Melissa going back and forth. They were accountability partners, and they're going to continue to be, and I love that about them. And what that is, that shared accountability is, you don't want to let the other person down. You know, you've made a commitment to something, and you don't want to have to, you know, reconnect with your accountability partner and say, yeah, I just didn't get anything done. You know, it's, you want to take those steps forward. You want to perform, because you know there's going to be somebody else. You know, when it's just you, you know, sometimes we let things slide, or we let things drop. But man, when I've got to get, you know, on a Zoom call or on a phone call or a text message with Brandon, I know, hey, I got to keep moving. I've got to keep moving. And I know on the other end of that, Brandon's doing the exact same thing. And so, you know, when I think about this work that we're going to be launching at the end of next week, whoops, there we go. It's out. We're launching at the end of next week.
July 15th.
When I think about that, I think about, you know, those small groups that we'll have that people can opt into. And within that small group, that's where some of that accountability comes in. It's not just having Darrin and having Brandon there to support you, but it's, you know, the example there with Melissa and Kip. By the way, that Bitly's not live yet, so please don't use it.
Yep, July 15th, it'll be live.
It's coming, but yeah, having those folks within your group that, as you said, you know, you kind of become almost like a family, and you become accountable to each other and really want to push yourselves. So, yeah, dude, I could just ramble on and on. I feel like that's all I've done.
We could talk about it all day long, but people got to get to their summer learning, so we gotta give time for that as well. So I got 3 questions I'm going to kind of surprise you with here. I like to see how people, you know, they act in the hot seat. All right. So, and you can kind of recap some of the things that you may have said already, and it kind of works out. So 3 recommendations for self-care this summer.
Disconnect. Number 1, disconnect. Boy, whether it's a day, a weekend, a week, and go to the lake, go to the mountains, go read a book, whatever it is, but disconnect. You know, it's wonderful that we're so strongly connected, but you know, sometimes the machine goes a little bit awry, and the best thing you can do is turn the machine off and let it rest. And I think that's a really, really important piece. Number 2, I would tell you, number 2 is to just kind of scrape some of it off. Again, I said it earlier, we've been carrying things around. And when I went to the Wild Heart Teacher Retreat, I was carrying things around I didn't even realize I was carrying around. And to just be able to start to let some of that go. And, you know, whether it was, boy, you know, I didn't live up to my own expectations in this area, or boy, I really don't like how this happened, or, you know, I didn't feel good about how people reacted, or whatever it is, we got to let those things go. Just let it fall off, get yourself recharged, you know. And then number 3, I'll be honest with you, do something for yourself. You know, whatever that might be, just go do something for yourself. Maybe that's, you know, a purchase you've been holding off on, or, you know, maybe it's a vacation, or it's, you know, I'll use Melissa Wright in here as an example. You know, maybe you really want to write your book. You know, just do what it is that you want to do for yourself. Do just one thing, and don't feel bad. Don't feel selfish about putting yourself first. Because sometimes you got to do that. So there you go. Those were my real quick 3.
All right, here. So this is a 3, 2, 1. So the 2 now is 2 examples of free learning opportunities this summer.
Man, there are so many.
There's so many.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I think I don't think it's free, but it's really, really close to free. The Codebreaker Summer Camp.
$5.
Yeah, $5. I mean, that's basically free. Just don't get a cup, a cup of your favorite coffee that day. But definitely the Codebreaker Summer Camp, I think, is an exceptional opportunity. It's going to be run ed camp style. There's going to be all kinds of fun going on there. We don't know yet who the presenters are, but we'll know fairly soon. But I would say definitely that. And then I'll throw this one in a little self plug, but the Empower Half Hour. So the Empower Half Hour, we have moved to our summer hours. We are on Wednesdays. So
it's your fastest half hour.
It is your fastest half hour, without question. And we have moved to 1 p.m. Eastern. So just jump in on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can follow Empower Half Hour in both of those locations. And come and join us. We've got a fun guest every week, and we're just going to have some fun. Last week we had Matt Joseph on. Next week we have Brandon Beck on. Can't for the life of you tell me who we have on today. I can't remember, but by all means, I would say that's another one of those free learning examples.
Yeah, absolutely. That's perfect. They're all out there. So many. And then the last one way to celebrate you.
Wow, that is really a good question. One way to celebrate you. I would say one way to celebrate you is by serving others. Do something to help impact others. Be that catalyst. And honestly, I've been banging this drum for a while, and I'm not going to let go of it. And that is just simply do something to make you 1% better today, to make you a better human. You do that, it's a great way to celebrate yourself.
Amen to that. Well done in the speed round of the 3, 2, 1. I love it, man. I appreciate it. So there's lots of summer learning opportunities. So the last thing I need you to do is I need you to finish this sentence, because I always like people to finish my sentences. So to keep thriving in the future, educators should
keep on keeping on. We've had some challenges. We've had some struggles. We know it's not over. But you know what? We're a resilient bunch, and just keep on keeping on.
Amen to that. That's it. Mic drop moment. Perfect. Well done. Well, Darrin, listen, everybody knows they can get in touch with you. What's the best place? What are your socials? I can see it right there. Yeah. Darrin M. Peppard. It's right in front of our nose. So that's the spot, right? That's where we can find you. And what about people who really want to pitch you a book idea? Because that's, I'm sure, a question some people might always want to know. What's the best way for them to pitch you a book idea?
Yeah, so the best way to pitch a book idea, really, you've got two options. Hit me up right here. Just shoot me a DM. But if you go to our website, roadtoawesome.net, there's a spot right on there. In fact, on every single page, there's an opportunity to connect with us and just send us a message through there. Love to have those conversations with people about their book ideas. I actually have two people that are pitching book ideas to me today. So by all means, just share your thoughts. There's no such thing as a bad idea. Just sometimes ideas just need some support and some grooming and some coaching, and that's what I'm there for. So
let's give them a bonus. I'm going to give them one more. I want to give them a bonus opportunity. So if they're pitching you a book, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a full book written? What do you prefer? Or do you prefer a proposal, or do you prefer a chapter?
Typically I want to hear an idea. I want to hear something that is going to stand out from all the other thousands and thousands of educator books that are out there. So really, I'm looking for an idea. If you have a full manuscript, that's great. Excuse me. We've accepted books as full manuscripts. We've got two, honestly, our next two that will come out that came to us as full manuscripts. But I'll also tell you this: we have had people reach out and say, I have this idea. And you know what? If the idea absolutely blows me away, we're getting you under contract. We want to do that book. We want to help you groom that idea. Ultimately, a normal pitch, I want to hear the idea and then get me an outline, get me a chapter or two, and it doesn't even have to be like a finished chapter. I just want to see, what is your writing style? What are you going to bring that is going to take your idea and have it stand out from from other ideas. So that's the big thing on the book side of the business. So
wow, so much knowledge dropped in this session. You even end it, if you make it all the way to the end of this session on the replay, you even now know how to pitch a book, to take your idea from an idea floating in space to paper to a contract. I mean, look at, we just gave that away. That's amazing.
There you go.
I love it.
There you go. Free
I love
knowledge
it
right there.
Well, listen, Darrin, I
Yeah.
appreciate you joining me. Just a reminder, everybody, the week of Summer Thrive, we have had the incredible guests, Jesse Lubinsky, Georgina Dean. Darrin today was amazing. Coming up tomorrow, Charles Williams, and followed by Friday with Tisha Richmond. And I even have a couple other things happening next week I'm excited to announce as well. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Remember, the journey toward unlocking unlimited potential in all whom we serve begins with you. And educators, we always have a choice. The question you have to answer this summer: will you stop and dive, or will you grow and thrive? Continue to educate with passion. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have an awesome day. Continue growing. Darrin, take care, my brother.
Have a road to awesome week.